Welcome to the Armor of Love show. I'm your host, Aunt Candy. I'm a proud mom and anti-ally here for the LGBTQ plus community. I'm also a recovering addict, life coach, and spiritual teacher. On this show, we're digging into relationships, emotions, and the transformative power of love and compassion. Let's take this delightful healing journey together and strengthen your armor of love so you feel safe and confident expressing yourself in the world. I already love you, so stick around for today's episode. Hello, my beautiful friends. I am so happy to be here with you. I'm Aunt Candy, and this is the first episode of the Armor of Love show. I'm so glad you're here. Holy cow. I'm very emotional today, so hopefully I'll get through this without a lot of coughing or crying or whatever the case might be. This show has been years in the making, and I bounced off rock bottom in 2020, have been climbing back up, and have been just dying to do something special to support the LGBTQ plus community for years now. And I have struggled to get out of my shell, to be seen on social media, to be heard, to speak my voice, speak my truth. It has been a long journey back up from that place of rock bottom, I will tell you what. So if you're feeling low today, I want to encourage you that the journey to feeling good, feeling joyful, feeling happy and confident, it can take some time. It can take some time, but you can enjoy every step of the journey. You can enjoy every step of the journey, and you can embrace who you are, and you can find yourself again after pain, after loss, after difficulty, through addiction, whatever the case might be that you're struggling with. If you're struggling to come out, if you want to come out and you're not sure, you have anxiety, fear, this is normal. It's okay. I'm here to support you and hold your hand, and I'm here to love you through whatever you're going through, wherever you are in your journey. If you're out and proud and you want to be prouder and take your journey to the next level and level yourself up, or if you're just starting out on your journey and you're getting comfortable and growing your wings so you can fly, that's what I'm here for. And I'm so stoked about starting this show and talking about emotions, relationships, spirituality, everything and anything I can support you with, the ways I've grown over the last 4 years after my rock bottom experience, which I'm about to tell you about. So I'm so glad you're here. All right, well, today's episode is about my experience from rock bottom and the 5 ways that hitting rock bottom changed me for the better. So I'm excited to share these 5 things with you, and I hope that it will be a benefit to you. The goal here is to kind of introduce myself and also my journey as an addict and life coach and spiritual teacher. So we're just going to start out right at the beginning and how I got here, which was I was an alcoholic and spent almost a decade in alcoholism. Not quite a decade, but pretty close. And when I got to the point of hitting rock bottom in early 2020, it was getting pretty bad. Getting pretty bad. So, but many good things have come out of that. And that's what we're here to talk about. Number 1, I was forced out of denial. The situation at the time, I was working a high stress corporate job, flying all over the country in a private jet, making multiple 6 figures. And because I was an alcoholic and I was very angry and burned out and frustrated and stuck, and just every day that I went into the office, all I could think about was how I didn't want to be there and I wanted to leave and I wanted to do something else with my life. I was just so tired of it, but I kept going in and putting up with all the BS and my own issues simply because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to get out, and I didn't know how to get free. I didn't know how to quit drinking. I was forced out of denial when I got fired from my job. I started recovery meetings in 2019, probably around September, October I planned a birthday trip to Miami for my birthday in 2019, and I was like, I'll quit drinking when I get back from Miami. But of course, I didn't. And even though I was going to meetings and I was becoming really aware of, my problem with alcohol, because I had been trying to quit on my own and not able to do that. I had tried for months to quit on my own, doing like a 30-day detox. I'll just quit for 30 days and then I'll know that I can quit and I can keep going on with my drinking and I won't have to change my life. Well, that wasn't exactly in the universal plan for Aunt Candy's life. So that is not what happened. But I was forced out of denial, and really getting fired from that job is part of what, started my rock bottom experience. Because to go from making multiple six figures and having worked there almost 13 years as an account manager, I'd built up just so much, work for myself, and making multiple six figures to just lose that very suddenly. And COVID started right after that. So I was on unemployment and it was a disaster. Since I had not yet quit drinking in January of 2020 when I was fired, I my alcoholism just got worse, and I was drinking during the day to the point that when I did manage to get a new job for only about a month, it was very, very difficult. I couldn't really hide my alcoholism. So that is what started my rock bottom experience. And then I wrecked my van into a street sign. And I like to say I got a sign from God, because I was drinking and driving and smoking pot and just wrecked right into the sign. And it was like, oh my God, I've just done it. I'm so screwed. I have to admit that I have a problem. I have to admit that I'm numb and I'm not, willing to experience my emotions or deal with my relationship issues, my job issue. There was just so many things I was ignoring, and I was really forced out of denial after losing my job and then wrecking my car. So, getting forced out of denial, if you are, ignoring something in your life that is not working for you, maybe it's a relationship, a toxic relationship, maybe you hate your job too. Maybe every day you're working and thinking, God, I hate this job. I can't wait to quit and get out of here. And what sucked about getting fired was I didn't get the chance to quit. I had this glorious quitting moment planned. That didn't happen, but maybe there's something in your life that you're not paying attention to, that you're just letting slide day after day after day and ignoring how you feel about it, and then in some way having to numb yourself out because of that. That is just no way to live, and I can say that because I was there. I was there. I mean, I was having suicidal ideations. I hated myself. I loathed myself underneath the flashy exterior and, posting videos of me, flying around on a jet and making all this money. I was miserable. I would be crying in my shower. I would be crying in my closet sometimes, because what would happen is, going through all this numbness, and maybe you can relate to this in your own life. Numb, 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 emotional meltdown. Numb, 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 emotional meltdown. That's kind of how the cycle went. So, number one, force out of denial. Number two, I had to ask for help. I had to ask for help. I had no idea how to quit drinking, how to put my life back together after losing my job, how to reclaim the income I had lost, how to really just, what do I do with my life? My life was being the life of the party. If I'm going to quit drinking, which I finally did, March 15th, 2020 is my sobriety date from alcohol, I had to ask for help from my higher power. I had to ask for help from people in recovery. I was in therapy and had to continue asking for help there, but my asking for help became a lot more intentional and a lot more focused on the things that I was coming out of denial about. So asking for help really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, because the love and compassion that I received and how people embraced me and how they loved me when I was at my worst and how they loved me when I was at my lowest, it was just so helpful to me to get myself back together. And then about 5 months into my, alcohol sobriety, I hired my first life coach. And that is where my passion for coaching began. This was 4 years ago, okay? I'm talking about, like, I think I hired my first life coach August of 2020, Tiffany Carter, Project Me with Tiffany. Hey, Tiffany. And I have worked with so many amazing coaches over the years. I still absolutely love Tiffany Carter and her podcast, and her business and all the beautiful things that she does. But oh my God, like I just developed this complete passion for coaching and being coached. And I've been coached. I've worked with a bunch of coaches since 2020. I've worked with several different coaches. I've not stopped pursuing that help, that coaching, that therapy, that recovery, really investing my time and effort into those things, and asking for help has just, oh my God, it's changed everything for me. It's changed everything. It's just crazy. So asking for help isn't so bad. And you might think you're a burden to someone else, but what you don't know is someone else might want to really help you. Someone else might be passionate like I am about helping you. I mean, my gosh, I have like one client right now in my coaching business, and oh, you're going to hear a lot about her, and she's definitely going to be a guest on the show because we've been walking together for a couple years through her coming out journey, and it's been so inspiring. But it's like, God, I'm dying to help more people. I'm dying to help more people, especially in the LGBTQ plus community, come out and experience what it is they want from life, what it is you want from life. I want you to experience what you want from life and to be happy about who you are and embrace who you are and love who you are and know how loved you are. So if you think you're burdening someone by asking for help, oh my goodness, no, please just ask for help. And if you don't think I'm the coach for you, then find the coach for you, because it's like the best experience ever. It's a little different from therapy because it's not just about, excuse me, getting into the content of trauma. It's more about like processing from an energetic level, or like what have the patterns been that you've established? Where is it that you want to go? And how do you want to feel? And how do you get there? So it's a little faster from point A to point B. You're setting a specific intention for where you want to go. Anyway, I digress. That's number 2. I had to ask for help. Number 3, I found my heart and my feelings again. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. If you've been numbing out for a long time, and then you quit numbing out and all of your feelings come back, it can be a little jarring at first. And I had anxiety through the roof. So one of the things I'm passionate about helping people with is just getting through regulating your nervous system and how to do that and how to take control of your thoughts and your emotions so that you can feel good and you can heal and process things without feeling like you're going to fall apart or break down. Because, early in my recovery, I broke down a lot. I was sad a lot. There was so much sadness I had been masking. There was so much anger I had been masking, guilt, shame, so much guilt. And really finding my heart again, I had to face those feelings. And, it isn't as bad as you think it will be. It definitely, I had imagined in my mind, especially going through step 4 in recovery where you do the inventory, I had imagined in my mind that I would die. It would be the end of me because I didn't want to admit a lot of things that I had done during my addiction. And so opening up about those things was like terrifying. And when I did finally open up, it wasn't as bad as I thought. But facing your feelings allows you to heal. It allows you to heal your pains from the past. And I had buried so much hurt and pain inside of me that it was all there. And when I stopped numbing and started actually paying attention and being aware of what I was feeling and being aware of what I was thinking, then it helped me to start the healing process. And I began pursuing healing more intensely at that point. Like, oh my gosh, whatever's going to come up, I'm going to heal it. And it's like the layers of an onion. I mean, you just keep peeling back the layers and peeling back the layers. So whatever is in front of you right now that you are aware of that you need to heal, I just encourage you to feel your feelings. Feel your feelings. There's no right or wrong feelings. There's only feelings that you enjoy and feelings you don't. So there's feelings that are good and feelings that are not good. and I want you to feel good. So hopefully that's an encouragement. Finding your heart again, if you're numbing out, like I said, it's not as scary as you think. It's just important to feel your feels, and a great way to do that is to journal and meditate. And I do that every day now. So, number 4, I restored and reconnected with my faith in a higher power. So I grew up Christian. I'm in Indiana. I'm in the state of Indiana. Grew up Lutheran. Left the church with my kind of first religious trauma experience, which was as a youngster. And then basically came back to church like 7 years later and had this full on like experience with Jesus in my early 20s. I was a single mom at that time, and I had just left my son's dad. I got pregnant in high school, so I had my son my senior year. My senior year of high school, I have him in my graduation photos. My life had been very kind of chaotic to that point, and I was when I found Jesus, I was desperate for love and desperate for some kind of hope. And meeting Jesus was like life changing for me. So I had this radical conversion experience. And then I started walking in the Christian faith for a number of years. I taught Sunday school for like 9 years, which is crazy to think about now because I couldn't, I can imagine going into a Sunday school class, but I'm just at such a different place now than when I was then. I don't fit the mold of Sunday school teacher as much as I did back then. And especially since I don't currently attend a church after my next bout of religious trauma, which I'll talk about more later. But I had faith in a higher power is what I'm trying to say. Growing up, I did believe in God. I just didn't know how to reconcile, I guess, when I got to the point of being a complete alcoholic then later, how do I reconcile this? Because I just felt like I had screwed my whole life up. I mean, there I was at like rock bottom. I was addicted to my job. I was addicted to the money and success. I was addicted to being an alcoholic, being the life of the party, and I lost everything in 2020. I lost everything of who I knew I was. And I could not quit drinking until I surrendered to my higher power and asked for help. And my relationship with God is so different now. My relationship with Source, my relationship with the universe is so different now than what it used to be. I really don't rely on religion for my faith anymore. My faith is so personal. Your faith is so personal. And if you've been burned by religion, if you've been hurt by religion, you don't have to believe in that faith from your past. You can still have a relationship with Source. You can still have a relationship with God, with Jesus, with the universe. And that's something that we'll be talking about a lot on this podcast, because I'm aware in the LGBTQ plus community of the religious trauma that people experience, and it's awful. And I don't want that to deter you from believing in something greater than yourself, but giving you the freedom to define what that is for you. You don't have to believe like I believe. You don't have to practice the way, or things I practice. You can believe and practice whatever you want. But if you are interested in reconnecting with your higher power, I encourage you to sit down and just go within your heart and go within your soul. Meditation's a great way to do that and connect with your inner being, because you're a soul in a human body. There's a greater part of you that is spiritual than the part of you that is physical. And this is something that I learned in recovery, especially after I walked away from church due to a bad experience, actually an LGBTQ plus discrimination issue that had occurred at the church that I was attending my recovery meetings at. And this is my son had come out of the closet 6 years ago. So when I went through this discrimination situation in church, it just blew my mind, and just, oh my gosh, I'm going to definitely be, excuse me, sharing more about that in the next episode, because I do want to talk about the shit show that happened at church, and I do want to talk about how that affected me and how it pushed me into broadening my horizons with spirituality and understanding other philosophies like Buddhism and Hinduism, and just learning about different religions and different, like the tarot. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the tarot. I pull cards for myself every day, and I had a great time with that. That's a wonderful way to connect with spirit and receive guidance, and also connecting with loved ones in spirit. So there's just so much that expanded about my faith and my higher power through not only the rock bottom experience, but also the religious trauma experience that I then had as well. So you can find your higher power again. And when I surrendered and asked for help from the universe, from my higher power to quit drinking, I felt as if I was miraculously healed. And it was after that, the car crash, where I was like, okay, I gotta do something here. And God help me. I don't know what to do. So restoring a faith in a higher power is something that I encourage for you, just to have that connection. You're never alone. You are never alone. You are always surrounded by a source and spirit of love that is there to guide you, encourage you, help you. And I just want you to believe that and embrace that for yourself, especially if you are an LGBTQ plus person, because you are loved by the universe. You are loved by source. You are loved by angels, by God, by your loved ones in spirit. You are loved. And there's a constant stream of love coming towards you. And I just want to make sure you know that. All right. Number 5. My life has totally changed. That is like the understatement of the year. So for the last 4 years, I've been pursuing this mission and desire to be a coach. And then over the last couple years, specifically for the LGBTQ plus community, and I've just struggled to show up. I've struggled to show up for myself. I've struggled to show up for you. I feel terrible about that. I wish I was here years ago. I wish I was here 4 years ago serving and showing up. But I had a lot of healing to do for myself to get to this point where I feel empowered. I feel happy. Everything changed. Like I said, I was multiple 6 figures. I was just happy, living free, doing whatever I wanted to do. And when I lost my job and the last 4 years, I really haven't made any money. I mean, I've been living off of like my retirement account, borrowed money, borrowed time to do this. So I'm happy though. I'm freaking happy as a clam. I mean, I love my life now. I also went through a divorce last year, which was very difficult and still sometimes is difficult, but I've also come a long way in processing that. And I do have a new partner and a new love in my life now as well. But my life's totally changed. I don't live in the same place. I have different pets. I don't work the same. I don't drink anymore. So like, I'm just a totally different person, but I love who I am now. And I'm more my authentic self than I've ever been. So if you embrace any kind of healing journey, you can totally change your life. I'm here as proof to say, if you, oh my gosh, I just flash back. Like I used to sit in my office sometimes and just like daydream about what my life would be like if I didn't have to go to that place every day. And if I didn't have to feel the way that I felt every day, hungover, miserable, unhappy, loathing myself, loathing my job, just like, and then just acting on the outside like everything's fine and I'm good. I mean, I was so miserable. And I think back to how miserable I was. It was terrible. And I was a mess. I mean, I was a hot mess. And I had this vision, That's the point I was trying to make. I had this vision for my life of what I wanted it to be. And, I just would daydream about that. Like, what would it be like to be free and to be out in the world and be able to live and do what I want and not have to worry about coming to this god-awful place every day. So if you're sitting there thinking, I wish some things about my life were different. I wish I could change this. I wish I could change that. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can still be happy now, even amidst that circumstance, but you can also change it. You can change it. You can change your life. You can heal from your past trauma. You are loved. You are supported. And, that's really the crux of the message. It's just like, if there is this next level version of you that you want to be, whether that means, coming out of the closet or that means changing relationships or pursuing a new passion, whatever the case might be, you can have it. You can pursue that dream that you have on your heart. And that's what I'm here to help with. I'm here to help you just armor up in love. And that means taking care of yourself. That means getting those blind spots, taking stock of where might you be in denial about what's not working or what's holding you back, and really investing in yourself, whether that's, going back to school or hiring a coach or going to therapy, like whatever that is for you. I just want to encourage you to believe in yourself and know that you're loved, and know that you don't have to know the how, and you don't have to know the when. You don't have to know you just need to know what you want and why you want it. That's really what you want to focus on is what is the life as I want it to be? How's it going to feel when I get there? And why do I want that? And just having clarity around those things can help the universe start to send guidance your way, people your way to help, books to read, shows to watch, podcasts to listen to. Here you are listening to Aunt Candy. Oh, Aunt Candy's here talking in your ear, telling you how loved you are and how special you are, and that's what I'm here for. So, well, we're about wrapping up today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Currently, this podcast is like my number one effort. For the month of June, I'm going to be offering also free coming out calls because I know my client that I was telling you about earlier that I can't wait for you to meet, Miss Jackie, she came out during Pride Month and we walked through that journey together and it was amazing. So maybe you're thinking about coming out this Pride Month and you don't have anyone to talk to. I'm going to do some free coming out calls if you need someone to come out to. That'll be free, and you can, email me or message me on Instagram. I hang out the most on Instagram. My handle's at Coach Aunt Candy, Coach Aunt Candy, with a Y, Candy. So hit me up there, send me a DM, and I'll be posting a link pretty soon where you can book a call. And I look forward to serving and supporting you and loving you. And I just want you to know how loved you are, how special you are. I can't wait to see you more on this journey and to hear from you. So please message me if there's any questions you have or anything you want me to talk about. I love you, and I'll see you soon.